Capricorn, this is your week ahead astrology forecast by Astrology Motivation from Born Without Boundaries. In these weekly videos, I review the major planetary aspects and transits and how they impact your natal sun and what that ends up meaning for your day-to-day. I'm going to start off really broad with the big stuff, the charts for the week, and then I'm going to focus that information down into Capricorn specific information, and then we'll break everything down into the 3 decans of Capricorn, which are groups of 10 degrees, and it just helps me understand exactly how your natal sun is being aspected, which is how I can derive how you're going to be impacted, because not all of you are going to be impacted the same way. All you need to know for this video is your birth date. That's it. Everything else I translate for you. So let's come on. This is for the week of September 6th. Happy birthday, Christine Bertrand, one of my best friends. It's her birthday. Yay! So this is for September 6th through the 12th of 2023. I got my notes looking down. That's why I'm looking down. I gotta have my notes in front of me. Let's get into it. This is a pretty peaceful week. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. We've had a lot of contentious energy in the air, and it's really nice to know that around that full moon in Pisces, there was an easement. And we'll be able to feel that this week. Now, going into the end of this week, into next week, yes, we're going to have a few more contentious energies to deal with, and I'll talk to you a little bit about that as well. But this week, it feels kind of like, I'm not saying anything super fabulous is going to happen. It's retrograde. Nothing super fabulous is going to happen except maybe receptivity and understanding for things that you didn't take time with before. Slow it the fuck down and you benefit in retrograde season. Really. So we have the moon conjunct, we have Mercury conjunct the sun through the 9th. That is a brilliant and luminescent energy of like, aha, something suddenly occurs to us. And then we have a Mercury trine to Jupiter through the 10th, which means we're in for broadening and expansion and aha moments. We have the sun trine to Jupiter as well, pretty much all week long, which is courage and sort of voluminous enthusiasm. Really being excited by possibilities and learning, because Jupiter is very much about growing through education as well. We have Venus, which is square to Jupiter, which is all about really enjoying life, being decadent, sometimes overindulgent, but still, along with all this other very happy and optimistic energy, it is one of the most optimistic energies. It's just overindulgent in a way. We also have, by the end of the week, Venus is going to be trying to Chiron. She was trying to Chiron while she was in retrograde and now going direct. She's moving up there. Venus is about 13 degrees Leo, so that will put her closer at the end of this week to a trine to Chiron, which is all about healing our sense of self-value. We also have Venus all week long, sextile to Mars. That is combustible sexuality. It is sensuality and desires on blast. It is forwardness. It is pronounced desires, sort of just letting it all hang out, being open and going for it. This is a really beautiful energy that on the 11th, and 9/11, of course, we do have to reflect upon the tragedy that happened in 2001 in the United States. You know, I am American, so it's very personal for me. So just to honor them for a second and know that 9/11 is a difficult day historically in the United States, but this 9/11 is relatively beautiful, very romantic, and very sexual. So this could be actually a happy 9/11 because the moon and Venus will conjunct on the 11th of September this year, while they trine to Chiron and are sextile to Mars and square to Jupiter. This is a really indulgent party, like meet somebody, grab them, really attracted to somebody kind of energy. It's really potentially romantic and extraordinary energy, especially for those of you that already have significant others. Very flirtatious and sexual energy, even if you don't. So I like it. It could be a fun day to make us not hurt so bad or think of the historical connotations. By the end of the week, I will say that Mercury, when Mercury retrograde is in opposition to Saturn, or it's almost there, it's really building up to be there. And then the Sun is building up to be in opposition to Neptune. These are contentious energies. They're difficult. They make us feel distracted. They make us feel super, like almost like we need to jump at shadows, almost like we're making decisions based on feeling desperate, feeling oppressed, feeling held back. So this could be a difficult energy for us, especially during the middle of all these planets retrograde, because we're forcing ourselves into situations or feeling bad about situations that we really cannot do anything about, but we're taking it personally. So it's definitely something for us to sort of ruminate on going into the end of the week and realize if we calm ourselves down, we ground ourselves, and we don't try to push ourselves, there could be some illumination or some insight into what is making us feel this way and what exactly we have to do about it. Let's talk about Capricorn specific energy, shall we? We talk about what's going on in Capricorn, in the zodiac sign of Capricorn, and that's Pluto. Pluto's at 28 degrees Capricorn. It's in retrograde. Yes, it will retrograde, I think, all the way back to 26 degrees in Capricorn before going direct. I believe Pluto goes direct in October, but I'm not quite sure about that. It is at 28 degrees Capricorn now. And then we have Saturn. So what's going on with your ruling dignitary? Well, Saturn's in a pretty contentious energy. It has been. It's semi-square to Chiron, which is sort of like a nail or a pin prick that says, hey, something is not right here. Maybe it'll never be right. With Chiron, there's that sense of constant tragedy, constant hardship. Will I ever get this right? Will it ever be good enough? Are the standards too high? And it kind of is. If you look at, I don't want to get political, but global, like these standards have risen so high that only the people who are born at the top can reach them. It's very much that mentality. Then we have an opposition to Mercury by the 11th, which is going to really exaggerate that oppression and really make us think, how have we been repressed in how we speak? How have we been repressed in how we're allowed to think? And a lot of thoughts might come bubbling to the surface about that. I said it's like busting balls, very ball buster energy. So Saturn, the connection between you and Saturn, it could be that you're being a little extra hard on yourself and hard on others and taking things more personally than they need to be taken. Let's go into the decans, shall we? So if you know that your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Capricorn, you are a Capricorn 1. This correlates to birthdays basically in December. So anybody born December, say 22nd through the 31st of December, you guys would be Capricorn 1s. Your natal suns are in a long-term sextile to Saturn, which means you might be productive, but you might be being a little too hard on yourself and others this week because of all the other energy surrounding Saturn, or you might be doing it because you never feel good enough. We also have, though it will definitely open up doors, especially professional doors for you. That's long term. That's this whole year. Then we have a square to Mars for this week, which is pretty, watch that energy, because a square to Mars, opposition to Mars, even sometimes conjunction to Mars, can really make you, your person, more impulsive to the point of putting yourself at greater physical risk. So just watch that energy. It's definitely energy where you might be more pop-offish, you might be more angry, you might be more willing to push things to an extreme that is not good for you. So just watch out for that energy and think before you react, count to 10, and try to ground yourself. We have a trine to Mercury retrograde as well as of the 10th. So at the end of this week, there will be a trine to Mercury retrograde. So in some ways, there is going to be this energy of harmony or balance, or simply like a sense of, I'm not even going to try with this stuff because I'm in over my head, and I'm just going to sit back and see what plays out, which is actually a really good strategy for any planet in retrograde. So, sorry. So overall, Capricorn 1s, I would suggest that you move slower and be more observant this week. And if you feel that tendency rising up in your belly to pop off or get, push forward too quickly, there is that sense of curiosity that could slow you down and say, okay, what am I trying to rush toward? Let me see if it comes toward me. It's a better strategy for getting through this week. All right, Capricorn 2s. So if you know that your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Capricorn, you are Capricorn 2s. This correlates to birthdays between January 1st and January 11th. Your natal suns have a long-term square to Chiron, especially if you're born around the 9th, 10th, or 11th. So this is that feeling of, I've got to be good enough, I've got to try harder, but it's so hard. Why is everything so hard? This sense of feeling like everything is a struggle, right? It is extra hard on you right now in order to build you up and make you stronger and make you realize just what you're capable of. That's over the next couple of years. We also have a semi-square to Saturn, which is going to make things even more contentious and even feel even more like things are weighing down on you and even harder on you. And for you, since you're ruled by Saturn, you could be being much more hard on yourself. There is a trine to Jupiter and a trine to the Sun, however, that is very optimistic and very benefic. So it's this contrast between what you've experienced and what is your norm and what you are hoping for or opening yourself up for. So there are good things, or there's like it's almost like you're optimistic, and that's why you're willing to grind so hard or accept the difficulties, because you know that it's worth it. Whatever you're grinding for is worth it. This week you have a quincunx to Venus. And on the 11th of September, you have the quincunx to the moon conjunct Venus. What does this mean? There are agitations that are spurring you in the side when it comes to your attraction to somebody or your attraction to something or what you desire. It's almost like, yeah, you want it and yeah, you can get it and it's here for you, but you're going to have to bust your balls for it, which in some ways is very Saturnian and very Capricornian, but at the same time, that's why everything is so stressful, because you're not letting yourself just enjoy what you love. You feel like it has to be super difficult, or you're experiencing that maybe what you're reaching for or have is super difficult. And then you might want to reevaluate, is it really mine? Should I really have it? Right? I know I want something like it, but if this doesn't fit, the square peg doesn't fit into this round hole, then maybe I need to rethink it. Just an FYI. We have Capricorn 3s. So if you know that your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Capricorn, you are a Capricorn 3. This correlates to Capricorn birthdays between the 12th and the 22nd of January. Your natal suns are the ones conjunct to Pluto, which means they're also square to the nodes and trine to Uranus and sextile to Neptune. This is super power charged, very dynamic energy over the next couple of years, where you will see major metamorphosis and change to your character, your nature, your preferences, the way you think, who you want to hang out with, and what you think is important. It's just it's like a turning of the tides in your life. This week, your natal suns are quadrate to the sun and to Mercury retrograde. If you're born toward the beginning of the third decade, so say, what would be the correlating dates? The 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, like you guys, you are more quadrate to Mercury, whereas those born toward the end of, more toward the middle, actually, are more quadrate to the sun. But really, up through the end of the week, you're in this conjunction with the both of them. What does it mean? It's kind of a frustrating energy. It's kind of something is niddling you or tickling you or agitating you, you want to move forward. It's something that you see and something that you've just realized, or you have this intuitive kind of nagging feeling that there's something there that you have to look over again. It could slow you down, but I think it would be worth your while to slow down and look things over again. It would be beneficial to you. So you let me know, guys, in the comments below how this energy is impacting your life. If you found it helpful, please share it with somebody else that you know would find it helpful as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so we grow over here on Astrology Motivation. And then come on along with me to Born Without Boundaries Tarot, where you can find your week ahead tarot card reading for Capricorn. I'll see you guys in the videos. Bye.